Banlist. Let's jump right into it. First up is Cyberstein, which has been banned. I didn't have to face Naturia Exteria, so I don't know just how toxic it was, but this was a piece of runic builds, sprite builds, and some samurai builds. Unfortunately, I think this hit means the budget variant of Super Heavy Samurai just got a bit more expensive. Scareclaw similarly was important to Super Heavy Samurai, but the deck can adapt. Unfortunately, this kind of kills the deck being used as just an engine in other decks, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to kill the deck. Diabolosis kills the most degenerate version of Cash now that it's banned, but the main play doesn't really use the card, so it doesn't change anything. It's nice because now only Unicorn can rip extra deck cards, so your extra deck's a bit safer, but still not really that much of a difference. Skipping ahead, Unicorn was also semi-limited, so again, extra deck is a little safer, and the Cash is a little less consistent, but doesn't really change the play. Rise Heart's exactly the same. It was limited, which doesn't change the standard play, it just hurts the repeatability. Theoretically, this removes the possibility of doing double Rise Heart, but that wasn't really common to begin with. A Pointer got banned, which makes sense, probably about time. Going first games 2 and 3 just got a bit more hard, but I'd say that's a good thing, because it was just kind of a win button. Expulsion was annoying, but that was the key card in branded budget decks, so although the deck is more interesting to play against, it's also more expensive. Circular to 1 definitely hurts the consistency and repeatability of Mathmech, a running theme in this list, but it doesn't stop the normal opening play. But for this deck, I think it matters a little more because the follow-up Circular really helped facilitate the turn 3 access code OTK, so I think this noticeably reduces the power level as well. Gamma to 1 effectively bans Gamma as a hand trap outside of dedicated strategies. I'd call this a win for producing how swingy games are. When you droll and they Gamma, it's just kind of game over. But I'd also say it's a loss because that's one of the few droll situations where the smarter player, quote unquote, wins. You hold your droll until they control a monster, for instance. But overall, I'd say it's a little less swingy than before. Delicious Memory to 1, I think legitimately kills Pirelli. The consistency goes down so much, and making it at 1 means it's unsearchable with the continuous spell. So I unironically think that this knocks Pirelli out of tier 1 or whatever status. It definitely is down a peg from wherever it was. Sacred Tree to 1 hurts Naturia a lot. They're now capped at just 1 search a turn, which lowers the consistency and the ceiling noticeably. So instead of being able to Foolish Burial to get a search and then doing the normal combo, you can't do that anymore. Sacred Tree just has to be used in the combo and nothing else. So the ceiling and the consistency definitely both took a hit. Combining that with the Fountain semi-limit, I'd say overall the consistency is noticeably different, even if individually Fountain didn't really matter that much. Probably knocked it down a whole tier, and it wasn't that high to begin with, so not looking too good for Unitoria players. But you can still do the same combo, so it might still be good enough. Lightning Storm to 2 seems like a encouragement to go by Triple Attack and Thrust. I really can't think of another reason why they would put that on the list. Starter to 2 lowers the consistency of Sprite very slightly, but the Gamma limit probably hurt this deck more since now you don't want to play any of the Itali. Overall, that's 4 cards that let you play without your normal summon that are gone, which will make a difference. Again, Fountain hit reduces the consistency a little bit, and no Cyberstein also means that play is no longer available to Sprite decks. So overall, Sprite is less consistent, less resilient, and a little less powerful. But frankly, not by much. The stuff coming off Blaster 1 changes nothing. Maybe Salad will play it, but I doubt it. Maybe Dragon Link will play it, but I doubt it. Just keep your eye out for strong fire dragon monsters, because they might be useful in the future. Ding Long to 1. A new Sword Soul variant just got enabled by this card, but if Master Duel is anything to go by, it's probably not even the best version of Sword Soul. It might see play in Super Heavy Samurai combos, and probably the best place for it is Dino combos, but all it really does is create new versions of already existing decks, and probably not even strictly better ones. But keep an eye out because it might be the better budget variant if it doesn't get crazy bought out, which it probably will. Herald to 2 makes exactly one person that I know happy, so good for them. Engage to 2 and multi-roll to 3 definitely changes a lot for Striker. It makes Striker an actually viable rogue deck after the new support, and if, for instance, Cash dies on the following ban list, then we might actually see Striker become a tiered deck again. Right now, I'd say it's Rogue with these changes. Cloak to 3 changes nothing. It's just done serving its time for Hulk's crimes. Lotus to 3 enables a bad FTK, but I don't think we'll see that. You'll just maybe see some replays. Quick Fix to 3 is a huge boost to tough control, but without Master Plan, no one ain't playing Spiral, so it ain't going back. Starling to 3 is a mild bird up boost, but the bigger boost to bird up was just everything else getting hit. Draco Face Off to 3. It's a good extender for Pendulum decks, especially Draco Slayer. And Draco Slayer was positioned pretty well before, so this little boost might be enough to bring it back into the metagame as a rogue deck. Additionally, it might be used as an extender in Super Heavy Samurai now that they've gotten hit a little bit and might be useful. In fact, there might even be a full-on Draco Slayer Super Heavy Samurai deck. That could be nice. Birdman to 3 could change a couple things. It might be used in Cash to help facilitate making Baron. Also in Super Heavy Samurai, searching it with the Exeus monster to do something, but I don't really know. To recap, based off of the results from recent tournaments and YGO I'd say Cash was, before this list, definitively the best deck. Right below that would be Sprite, Mathmac, and Labyrinth. And then under them would be Heavy Samurai, Branded, and Pirelli. Under that, I guess Naturia, whatever else. Keep in mind, this was still early format. The Pirelli and Super Heavy Samurai were still really new, so the formats didn't really have time to adapt. Decks like Super Heavy Samurai, especially, but also Mathmech, Lab, and Sprite had some room for adaptation that we didn't get to see. After this list, I'd say Cash is still definitely tier 1, if not the best deck, but I'd say Lab is now up there with it. And just under that, I'd put Sprite, Branded, and Super Heavy Samurai. Then after that, Mathmech, Naturia, etc. But it really depends on innovations in Super Heavy Samurai decks. And frankly, Mathmech could certainly be tier 1 if the right brew shows up. I'm a Striker enjoyer, so I'm going to talk about that now. So Lithium, obviously, he posted his video. And if you want probably the best day 1 deck list, that's where you should go. But I had a brew that I figured I would share. So this is in light of the new support, and for those who don't know, I don't know when this will come to the TCG, but in the OCG, they got a card called Sky Striker Ace Camilla, which just requires 2 effect monsters. It's a link to machine. Must first be link summoned. You can only special summon Sky Striker Ace Camilla once per turn. Once per turn, if you have 3 or less spells in your graveyard, you can send a Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one monster your opponent controls, special summon this card to their field, and if you do, send that monster to the graveyard. Also shift control of this card's owner during the end phase of this turn. What does this card do? It converts any 2 monsters into sending Engage into the graveyard, and then you can get it back with Kagari. So it just means that going first, you can do Hayate without having to waste your battle phase. All you need is 2 monsters. So this list is with that in mind, with that card's existence in mind. So it's got 3 Ash, 1 Pink, 3 Array, 1 Rose, 1 Called, 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Foolish Burial Good, 1 Metal Foes Fusion, 2 Pot of Desires, 1 Rhoda, 1 Set Rotation, 3 Area Space Area 0, 1 Afterburner, 1 Hornet Drone, 1 Cannon, 3 Widow Anchor, 3 Multi-Roll, 2 Engage, 3 Linkage, 1 Terraforming, 1 Upstart, and 1 World Dino Wrestling. So the theory here is that Pankratops is a good card, and Foolish Burial is already natively good in this deck. The fact that you could also send World Dino Wrestling going second to grab Pink is just a really good play, especially now that your main problem is going to be a Rise Heart, and Pink outs a Rise Heart. And now that there's only one, that's really all there is to it. So Playing that for going second means that you now have effectively 4 copies of Pink, which is pretty good. But also going first, the Foolish Burial Goods could be an upstart, or it could be sending Engage to search, whatever. But then going first, the Dino Wrestling still isn't awful because it's part of the set rotation package. And the reason we're playing 3 Area Zeros is because we're trying to facilitate the Area Zero linkage combo kind of situation where you get to search off of the Area Zero. Now, thanks to the fact that we're playing 3 multi-roll and an extra engage, there's just more cards to hit, which makes the ability to get searches off of Area Zero more consistent. But then you send it with the linkage and you summon 2 guys, and then those 2 guys, you just link them off for Carmilla, and that's 2 spells in the graveyard. And so you can still send 1, you send the Engage, and then you link Kagari, and now you have 2 spells in graveyard, so you only need 1 more before you get that draw off the Engage. So I'd say, as far as fun builds go, that's probably going to be something I will try out whenever that support comes out, assuming it's not deathly expensive. But again, if you want an actual good build, then just go ahead and go over to Lithium or whoever else is posting stuff right now. As far as the dinglong and stuff, I'm very curious what people are going to be able to figure out. I'm sure that some crazy combat deck is going to appear on YouTube, but I'm curious competitively. And again, Master Duel isn't always the best metric for this sort of thing. I think TCG players are a bit better at cracking the meta than Master Duel players are. And Dinglong is a kind of a fan favorite card, so I wouldn't be surprised if people figured something out. So now I'm going to tell you about what I've been working on. So you may have noticed no videos. No videos because I have been working on YouTube shorts. I wanted to make some YouTube shorts how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The series. Still very much in a pre-production here. It's going to take me quite a while to do this. I think it's very funny. I'm going to be working on it for probably months. And in that amount of time, I'd put out many, many hours of podcast content. And instead, I'll be putting out like 22 minutes worth of YouTube shorts. So look forward to that. After I finish that little series, I'll try to make some other YouTube shorts. Feel free to leave your recommendations for what sort of things I should do. I might even try to cook up a YouTube short about the Banlist just to throw that out there. But also, I've been busy because I had a surgery. I had 7 teeth removed. For people who are wondering why such an odd number, it was my 4 wisdom teeth and 3 supernumerary teeth. Supernumerary teeth meaning teeth that are not part of the normal set. I just grew extra teeth. So got all that removed, had to recover from that. And also I just been keeping busy with other stuff, but I hope you appreciated my thoughts on the Banlist, and my Striker Breed. I hope y'all will enjoy the video, and I hope you will enjoy the shorts whenever I eventually finish producing them. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.